If you've been following along with these member spotlights, you already know every Rotarian has a different story. Today, we're going to hear Laura Daniels. I'm Joe Corpus, and Laura, thanks for taking a few minutes to do this. And don't worry, this is just a conversation. The only homework was showing up. Let's rewind a little bit. How did Rotary first come onto your radar?
So it's a very interesting story. My sister was actually in Rotary. She was in Interact when she was in high school, and she was the president of Interact. So my involvement with Rotary or Interact, which is we call it Baby Rotary, started at with driving her around to all her volunteering projects. And
Yeah.
so fast forward later, and she knew that I was going through a career transition, and she said to me, Laura, you should consider joining a Rotary near you. And that's how it all started. And I came looking for y'all, and I found the San Ramon Rotary Club.
That's a great way to get introduced to Rotary through your sister, through Interact. I even just started a recent series, the Danville San Ramon Interact member spotlight now too. So people will now start seeing all of the high schoolers that are connected just to Interact as we sponsor their clubs. Moving on, once you got involved, what was the moment where you thought, yeah, I think I found my people, or maybe a better way to ask it is like, what keeps you coming back?
So, first of all, it was just how welcoming everybody was and just
Yeah.
very open. Just the variety of people from different backgrounds, from medicine, from real estate. So it's just a very interesting collection of folks with variety of backgrounds. And I felt like it was someplace where I could make great connections and be around like-minded people. But honestly, what got me was those first couple of meetings where the topic and the speakers were just fascinating. And, I've been in corporate world for 26 years, and my world was tech, 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 right? And I haven't really been involved in the communities where I lived and worked. And to hear from the superintendent of the school district talk about how they're using AI in schools, or to hear about a new cancer center opening up in my own community and the services they're going to provide, it was just to me very, very interesting. And to top it off, there's also service projects that you can be involved in and give back to, again, to the community where you live and work. So those were the things that really caught me intellectually, but at a heart level, it was really just the lovely people that I met and the openness and welcomeness.
I have to say, I do feel like a club does attract a lot of just high caliber and great speakers. I know more about our community, what's happening. Like, for example, in the schools, my kids are in San Ramon Valley Unified School District, and I got a lot of that same presentation related to AI and all that stuff, because that's not stuff I'm going to necessarily get off the internet, but like we're hearing it
Yeah,
live in our club,
exactly.
Looking back so far, what's one Rotary experience that's stayed with you? Maybe a conversation or project, or maybe just one moment where you realize this is why Rotary matters.
It was my first service project, and it was building benches for a senior
Yeah.
community. It was a few weeks back. Again, I haven't been a member that long, so I haven't had a lot of experiences, but that one stood out. First of all, it was a lot of fun. I got to build
Yeah.
benches and paint benches, and it was a wonderful way to spend my Saturday in community with others. But it was just also just a dedication, right? We were at a Rotarian's house, and he had just prepared everything ahead of time. And he was so organized and he was so passionate. And the people that were doing the work were also just so into it. And then to see the final product and to see it installed in its home, it's like, this is kind of cool. Someone's going to really appreciate these benches, and they mean something to the seniors that are going to be using them. So that was kind of fun. That stood out for me.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a really cool story. Now, let's finish with one wild card question. Here's yours. What's one thing that you wish more people understood about volunteering or community involvement?
For years, I waited for the perfect moment, right? The perfect volunteering opportunity, the perfect organization, the perfect timing in my schedule and my busy life. And what I would say is just get started, just do something, one thing. And, get friends together, find a community. You don't have to start big. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Building benches was 3 hours of my time on a Saturday. And it was fun. It was outdoors. And the more people get involved in their communities, the more they give back, even if it's 1 or 2 hours, that time does accumulate and it does produce a wonderful result that really matters for the people, again, in the community where you work and live.
Great answer. I'm glad I asked that. Now, Laura, thanks so much for doing this. One thing I love about these conversations is that they remind me that Rotary isn't just about projects, it's about people. Every member, brings a different story, a different perspective, a different reason for serving. And if you're watching this and you've ever thought about getting more involved in your community, we'd love to hear from you, or we'd love to have you visit. Join us every Tuesday at noon at the Roundhouse Conference Center in Bishop Branch in San Ramon. Come introduce yourself, meet some great people, and experience Rotary for yourself. To learn more, visit danvillesanramonrotary.org. Laura, thanks again for being a guest on Member
My
Spotlight
pleasure.
today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.